We are back for the NFL Divisional Round Playoffs, and here are my best bets and picks for you guys. Now, this video is specifically for Saturday, January 22nd's games between the Bengals and Titans and the 49ers and Packers. Both those two games will be timestamped down below as I kind of go through each of the games in case you're watching it a little bit later after maybe the first game has kicked off. Now, we'll have a Sunday's best bets video for the Rams, Buccaneers, and of course, the Chiefs versus the Bills. Now, that video will be live on the channel Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern time, so you guys can definitely check it out. Probably already live by the time you're watching this right now. Now, I do have to remind you guys, last week in the wild card round wasn't the best week we could have had. 5-6 overall, 3-3 on player props, just losing a little bit of juice, 2-3 on spreads and over-unders, but that's all good. We're going to keep bouncing back. If you are new to the Call on Our Shot community, go hit that subscribe button down below. We're trying to hit to 21,000 subscribers. Maybe we can hit it this weekend with your guys' help. It only takes a couple seconds. Also, if you want to click the like button too, and maybe share the video with a friend. Comment your best bet for these games down below. Without further ado, let's hop into the first game on the slate. It is the Bengals versus Titans, and man, this is going to be a great one. I would argue all four matchups this weekend are going to be great games, and hopefully that is what we get. Now, who doesn't love seeing Joe Burrow rocking the shades in the press conference, all his confidence and whatnot? Now, on the other side of the coin, got the Titans coming off their first round bye, and they're coming with Derrick Henry. Return of Derrick Henry since what, like week 9 he's been out, and it's going to be exciting to watch currently. The Titans are 3.5-point favorites, over under 47.5. I have my favorite player prop and spread pick for this game. Now, here we go, and we're going to start with the player prop, and it's going to be a guy we faded last week. We took his under. Joe Burrow, over 35.5 passing attempts, minus 120 on Caesars Sportsbooks. Now, when I say we faded him, we took his under in passing yards, and he treated us nicely. It was not a great matchup against the Raiders secondary, and today we're taking his over in passing attempts for a couple different reasons. Now, at the time of recording this, the same line, 35.5 for DraftKings, BetMGM, Caesars, all of those around minus 120 to minus 130. Of course, FanDuel is up to 36.5, like minus 115. Don't mind that bet as well. Also like his over in passing yards today. Now, when I look at this Titans defense, what do they struggle with? Guarding opposing wide receivers and pass catchers. Now, this is a team that has an elite front four. They don't allow a ton of rushing yards, which Joe Mixon might not be due a great day. What they do allow is a ton of passing and receiving yards to those opposing wide receivers. Now, we look at it, it might be hard for them to establish the run with Joe Mixon. Ultimately, I think the Bengals will pass more in this one. Now, we look at Mike Vrabel, obviously a Bill Belichick disciple. I'd imagine they would try to take away Jamar Chase, but I don't know if they have the personnel to do so. But you look at last week when Jamar Chase had a great game. Still, Joe Burrow attempted 34 pass attempts, only had like 240 yards, and really it was just Jamar Chase and CJ Uzomah. I mean, you saw T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd both not do a whole lot. Joe Mixon didn't do a ton out of the backfield either, but look at it. He still almost hit this over against the Raiders secondary that's much better than the Tennessee Titans today. Now, if we look at Joe Burrow's stats against teams that are very at the top of the league in terms of rushing and you have a great defensive line, the numbers are great in our favor. Now, we look at it, we'll just point to games like against the Baltimore Ravens and against the Cleveland Browns. Two teams with elite defensive line play don't allow a ton of rushing yards. I believe the Ravens allow the fewest rushing yards in the NFL. Now, in those 3 games against those teams this season, he passed it 46, 40, and 38 times, cashed it in all 3 games, and they won all 3 of those games pretty convincingly. So it's not like we're banking on them to be down today or on Saturday. We're just asking for Joe Burrow to be throwing it like he has been throwing it recently. Now, the one time he didn't, obviously there's normally 4 matchups against the Browns, but he only played them once because he sat out week 18. But either way, the Bengals, they won that game when they played the Titans earlier last season, and that was Joe Burrow's, obviously, his rookie season. And Joe Burrow they won by 11 points, and Joe Burrow attempted 37 throws in that game, and they ran it 32 times in that one as well. I don't see the Bengals running it a whole lot today. My final note, in the last 5 games in which the opposing QB, and the last 5 games for the playoffs, because we obviously know the Titans have been in the playoffs the past couple seasons, here have been the QB attempt numbers. Lamar Jackson at 24, but obviously he ran it 16 times. Patrick Mahomes finished on the hook with 35. He ran it 8 times. Then you have Lamar Jackson again, 59 attempts, and Tom Brady twice with 37 and 53 attempts. So 3 of the 5 QBs went over. It's okay that Lamar Jackson went under, that his team was winning in that game for the large majority of it. And then Patrick Mahomes finished on the hook, but he ran it 8 times, and I do not see Joe Burrow running it 8 times. He'll probably just throw it out of bounds if he has to. So all things considered, really love Joe Burrow today, taking his over 35.5 passing attempts, and I'll be riding with it against the weak Tennessee Titans secondary. Now, let's move on to my spread or over under pick. And if you're new to the channel, I'm not the best at spreads or over-unders. I won't sugarcoat. I mean, I'll flash the record on the channel, on the screen. All year long, we've been roughly 500. So they're not my specialty, but this one I will make an official pick. The next game I'll have a lean in that one. Going with the Tennessee Titans minus 3.5, minus 110. So the truth of the matter here is I love both these two teams. I love the Bengals. Obviously, they're going to be good probably for the next 10 to 15 years. I really love this Titans team. Finally healthy for probably the first time all season long for the most part. Now, I do think the Bengals can keep this game close. They could win it outright for all I know. And you know, I do think they will keep it close, and maybe we see a final score like 24-20, someone losing on on the hook today. That wouldn't surprise me. This far late into the season, super hard to get an edge on sportsbooks in terms of spreads and over-unders. But in my opinion, I lean towards the Titans here because they have more experience. They have all their guys healthy. Finally, Derrick Henry's back. Julio Jones is finally back. They got him into the end zone. When I look at the Bengals this season, they've played well, but they haven't played a single good team on the road this season. You look at all the teams they've played the Bears, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Browns, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Jets, and the Lions. Those are their 8 road games. I believe 8. They played 9 home games. Those teams, none of them are really that good. Now, you could talk about the Raiders. Sure, the Raiders were, a decent team, but still, not necessarily an elite team like we might think that the Tennessee Titans are, the number 1 seed in the conference. So I just think they might struggle. I think the Tennessee Titans have a little bit more experience in the playoffs. We go back to this Titans defense. Maybe they'll cause some problems for Joe Burrow. We obviously don't know Mike Vrabel. Always notoriously been pretty good in the postseason, at least as the Titans head coach. So I don't think they'll be ready for King Henry in the play-action pass. Now, Tannehill, not the best quarterback in the NFL, but I got to give him some credit. He's been clutch all season long. I think he'll be clutch on Saturday and get the Titans the win, minus the points. We're taking it, and we're also taking Joe Burrow's over in pass attempts. Now, let's slide into the next game. If you click the timestamp, we're on the 49ers taking on the Packers. And if the 49ers come out of the tunnel, listen to the Super Gremlin, well then, heck, I'm putting money on their money line because they are going to win that game. But joking aside, we look at it, Packers 5.5-point favorites, over under 47 points. Now, the lines could change. I'm going to be recording this video late on Friday, but still, the Packers are obviously coming off that first round bye that they earned, and then the 49ers coming off that big win against the Cowboys. I'm going to start with my player prop, and then we'll talk about my spread or over-under lean for this one. We're starting with the guy that you guys all should know, number 17, Davante Adams. And we're taking his anytime touchdown prop, minus 125 on BetMGM. Now, the book I saw with the best odds was BetMGM, hence why I took that on their sports book. But other props, I think FanDuel had the most juice line, like minus 145. Other books around minus 135, and vice versa. And I struggled to decide on what line I wanted to bet for Davante Adams, because I think he has a great game today. So I just landed on anytime touchdown because this is a guy that loves to get into the end zone, and we're going to back up it with some statistics. Now, obviously, could the 49ers double team him? Truthfully, they probably should. This guy is an absolute walk-in mismatch on the field, and if the 49ers want to just single coverage him, good luck with that. But he's their best offensive weapon, and even if they do double team him, I think he still finds his way into the end zone. Now, Adams has a touchdown in 4 of 5 career games versus the 49ers. Had one earlier this season when the two teams matched up. And the 49ers are traditionally a team that rushes 4 guys. We'll see if Nick Bosa is back, more on him in a little bit. But they drop everyone back, playing a lot of coverage, sometimes man, sometimes zone. You never really know what to expect. A lot more man, I believe. But still, few QBs have a better connection than Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. There's no way around it. The guy has scored a touchdown in 31. He scored 31 touchdowns in his last 32 games. So he hasn't scored a touchdown every single one, but some days he scores 2, 3, 4. The guy's a menace. But in addition to that, Adams has been great in the postseason, scoring a touchdown in 7 of his 10 career postseason games. And here's my stat of the day for you guys. Davante Adams has scored a touchdown in all 5 career postseason games at Lambeau Field. Obviously today or Saturday's matchup is at Lambeau Field. And I expect him to get in the end zone, whether they want to double team him, whether it's on the first play of the game, whether it's on their first drive. Either way, I love Davante Adams today. I think he gets in the end zone, one of the best touchdown scorers. And you obviously know there's some potential drama looming in the offseason with Rodgers, Adams, and the Packers front office. So they're going to go out with a bang, whether this is their last game or their last couple games. Either way, give me Davante Adams anytime touchdown. Let's move on to my spread pick. This is going to be an unofficial play because I don't really want to put any money on this one, but I lean Packers minus 5.5. Now, the Packers, like we talked about on the podcast, if you aren't listening to the podcast, posted every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We appreciate all the love you guys show on it. But the Packers just feel like a team of destiny, a team that Aaron Rodgers, we all know the drama that he causes, or the drama on the off. Who knows what happens this offseason? But it just seems like a team destined to make the Super Bowl, and they've fallen short a couple of their past seasons. And that's just how it is in the NFL. It's hard to win a Super Bowl, but I think they win this game because they're coming back for vengeance. 2 years ago, the 49ers just absolutely demolished Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, winning 37-20. And that game was not even close, as that scoreboard would say. Now, they were up 27-0 at halftime. Raheem Mostert had over 200 rushing yards. They ran up and down the field on him. I just don't see that happening today. Now, good news for 49ers fans. I believe Fred Warner, their star middle linebacker, is back today. And Nick Bosa, despite some questionable going into the game, I believe he is active as well with the concussion protocol and whatnot. He should be ready to go. So you look at the rest of their defensive line still, even if Nick Bosa doesn't play, still a very formidable front. But I think the Packers will lean on that run game and lean on that connection with Davante Adams and win this one. The Packers offensive line is about as healthy as it has been all season long. Finally getting David Bakhtiari back as well. And all said, they finally have that running game led by Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. They're able to put away games when they get up, or even try to get back into games with both those two guys. Two very different but very elite running backs. And I think that's the big difference here. Plus, they're obviously playing in Lambeau Field. The weather's supposed to be super frigid. And of course, It's Aaron Rodgers, and I'm going to be betting on him -5.5. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if the 49ers keep this game close, but I'm betting on them. But I don't know if I'll necessarily make, it's not an official play, only the Titans -3.5. My Joe Burrow over 35.5 passing attempts, and Devontae Adams anytime touchdown are my 3 picks of the day, because that's been my luck. Normally when I don't make an official play for spreads, it's going to cash. We'll probably bet you the Packers -5.5 cashes. But I appreciate you guys for tuning into the video. Sundays, NFL best bets for those 2 games. You're talking about the Chiefs versus Bills and the Bucks versus Rams. That'll be live. If it is already live, I'll link it right here, or it'll be linked down in the description or in the comments down below. It'll be live at 10 a.m. Saturday time. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's have a great weekend in the NFL, a great divisional round. We only got seven more games in the NFL to watch. So enjoy them with your friends, with your family, whatever it may be. Hopefully we're making some money too. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.